Hey everyone, throwaway account because my soon-to-be ex-wife still stalks my main. Buckle up, because this story goes from funny to soul-crushing real fast. I, 34M, have been married to my wife, Lila, 32F, for 6 years. And if you asked anyone from the outside, we look like the ideal couple: vacations twice a year, couples game nights, Instagram-worthy brunches. But behind the scenes? Things started feeling off about 6 months ago. She got mean. I don't mean just snappy, I mean bitchy. Like everything I did annoyed her. I left my socks in the laundry basket? Are you 3 years old? I got her the wrong Starbucks order? Why do I even bother telling you what I want? She acted like just being around me was a chore. Now, Lila's always had a strong personality. That was part of what I loved about her. She's drop-dead gorgeous and confident, the kind of woman who doesn't walk into a room, she owns it. But something changed. She stopped being strong and started being cruel. Sarcasm turned to mockery. Flirting turned to silence. Sex turned to nothing. I tried talking to her about it. I asked if she was stressed, bored, burnt out, even asked if she wanted to do counseling. Every time, she brushed me off. "You're overthinking things," she said. "Don't be so dramatic." Classic gaslighting, in hindsight. Things reached a weird turning point when she suddenly got really into animals. Like, zoo trips twice a month, kind of into it. Said she wanted to connect with something real, something innocent. I thought it was quirky but harmless. It wasn't harmless. I should have seen the signs. I should have known something was up the second she started dressing up like she was going on a date just to go look at gorillas and flamingos. But nope. I just smiled, kissed her goodbye, and said, "Have fun, babe." Turns out, she was. Just not with me. So here's where things got weird, like too weird to ignore anymore. Lila started going to the zoo alone more and more. At first, it was once or twice a month. Then it was every weekend. Then it was random weekdays, claiming she just needed me time with the lemurs. I kid you not, lemurs. I joked one night, "You gonna leave me for a zookeeper or something?" She rolled her eyes and said, "Don't be stupid. It's literally just animals and fresh air. Maybe if you got out more, you wouldn't be so boring." Ouch. Anyway, fast forward to a random Tuesday afternoon. I'm working from home, and she texts me. "Going to the zoo for a bit. Need a reset." That was nothing new. But something didn't sit right. Maybe it was how quickly she got ready. Maybe it was the full makeup, heels, to a zoo, and that top she only ever wore on our anniversary dinners. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. I waited 10 minutes, hopped in my car, and drove to the zoo. I parked a few rows away and watched from a distance like a creep. I felt ridiculous. Like maybe I was overthinking. Then I saw her. She wasn't alone. She was holding hands, actually, fingers interlaced, with some guy in khakis and a name badge. A zookeeper. I nearly laughed out loud from how surreal it felt. They walked through the entrance like a couple, laughing, her head on his shoulder. And as if fate wanted to stab the knife deeper, they stopped by the monkey enclosure, our favorite spot. That's where we took our first photo together years ago. They kissed there. A full-on, shameless, in-public kiss. I felt like the ground dropped out from under me. It wasn't about the kiss. Or the zookeeper. It was about the disrespect. The lies. The fact that while I was at home thinking she just needed space, she was out here playing Jane to some bootleg Tarzan. I didn't confront her right there. I drove home, fists clenched on the wheel, adrenaline buzzing. I had to plan my next move. She thought I was boring? Nah. I was done being blind. So yeah. I didn't say anything that day. I went home, tried to breathe, tried not to throw something through the wall. I wasn't even sure what to do. Call her out? Wait for her to lie again? She came home like nothing happened, hair a little tousled, sunglasses on, practically glowing. She dropped her bag, kissed me on the cheek, which made my stomach turn, and said, "The otters were super cute today." Otters. Right. Is that what they're calling cheating now? I waited a couple more days. I needed proof, something she couldn't gaslight me out of. I checked our shared location history. Yes, we had that turned on, and saw she'd been to the zoo 5 times in the past 2 weeks alone. I checked our credit card statement. Nothing. No food, no drinks, no tickets. Which meant someone else was covering her visits. Then it hit me, the zoo had social media. So I checked their Instagram. And boom. There they were. A picture of Lila and him, side by side at some educational event. His hand on her lower back. Her laughing like she just heard the funniest joke on earth. Caption said, "Our passionate wildlife educator and a loyal guest." I screenshotted everything. Location history. Zoo Instagram. Even a blurry photo I took from my car. Then I waited for the next time she said she was going to the zoo. When she left, I gave her 10 minutes and then texted her. "Hope the animals are cute today. Especially the one you're banging." Then I sent the photos. She didn't respond for 5 minutes. Then. "What are you talking about? Are you seriously spying on me? This is insane." So I hit her with, "Save it. I know about you and the zookeeper. I followed you. I have screenshots. I'm not stupid, Lila." The dots bubbled for what felt like an eternity. And then came her masterpiece. "You're being paranoid. He's just a friend. You've been distant lately, so yeah, I've been talking to someone who listens. Not sorry. Not, it's not what you think. Just flipping it on me like I caused this." And in that moment, the switch flipped in my head. I wasn't going to let her play me anymore. So after I confronted her via text with literal photo evidence, her immediate reaction was to gaslight me. Classic Lila. "You've been distant lately. I needed emotional support. He's just a friend who understands me. I didn't technically cheat. We're just close." Right. Because holding hands and kissing at the monkey exhibit is what all emotionally supportive friends do, huh? Anyway, she got home an hour later, stomping through the front door like I was the one who did something wrong. I was sitting at the kitchen table with the printed screenshots laid out like I was Detective F**************************** Pikachu. She didn't even sit down. She crossed her arms, rolled her eyes, and said, "You're really blowing this out of proportion." No remorse. No apology. Just cold irritation. I asked, "How long has this been going on?" She shrugged. "A few weeks. Maybe a month." "So you have been seeing him?" Another shrug. "If you want to be dramatic about it, sure." Dramatic. That word again. Like I was reacting to a spilled glass of wine and not a full-blown betrayal. I asked her why she didn't just talk to me. She said, and I quote, "You're just boring now. You used to be fun. You used to make me feel things. But lately, it's like you're just there." That one hit harder than the cheating. Apparently, I'd become some sort of emotional houseplant in her eyes. She claimed nothing physical ever happened beyond a kiss or two. When I asked if I could believe that, she said, "You can believe what you want. Honestly, it doesn't matter anymore." That told me everything I needed to know. It wasn't just about the zookeeper. This wasn't a one-off lapse in judgment. This was who she really was. A liar who didn't even have the courage to admit what she did, because in her mind, I deserved it for not being exciting enough. And in that moment, something in me cracked, but not in a bad way. It was like a fog lifted. She wasn't the woman I married. She was someone else, someone cruel, selfish, and manipulative. And I was done trying to win her back. After the confrontation, Lila did what she always does when she's cornered, went icy cold. No tears. No, "Please don't leave me." Just silence, eye rolls, and half-mumbled non-apologies like, I didn't mean for you to find out like that. Not, I'm sorry I cheated. Not, I made a mistake. Just, sorry you caught me. I slept in the guest room that night. She didn't even try to come in. I laid there staring at the ceiling, numb. Angry. Embarrassed. Mostly at myself. How did I miss this? Looking back, I didn't miss it, I ignored it. All the signs were there. The sudden zoo obsession. The emotional distance. The way she stopped looking at me like a partner and started treating me like a burden. I just didn't want to believe it. I thought if I held on long enough, things would snap back to normal. But they never do they? I went through all the phases. First came rage, the kind where you want to scream into a pillow or key someone's car. Don't worry, I didn't. Then came humiliation. I mean, come on, the zoo guy? How do you even explain that to people? Yeah, she left me for a guy who shovels elephant crap and teaches kids about giraffes. And finally, sadness. Like, real grief. I missed her. I missed the version of her that used to bring me lunch at work and leave dumb sticky notes on the mirror. I missed the girl who danced barefoot in the kitchen while we made pasta. But that girl was gone. And maybe she'd been gone for a long time. I tried talking to a friend about it, and he hit me with a truth I wasn't ready for. Sometimes, you're just the stepping stone to someone else's phase. I hated hearing that. But he wasn't wrong. Lila was already mentally checked out. Emotionally gone. I was just the guy holding the fort until she found her next thrill. And the thing that hurt the most? She never looked back. So, 2 days after the confrontation, I came home from work to find Lila packing. No heads up. No can we talk? Just her, shoving clothes into a duffel bag like it was laundry day. Her Bluetooth speaker was playing some upbeat, feel-good crap like she was heading off to a spa retreat, not walking out of our damn marriage. I stood there in the doorway and asked, that's it? You're just leaving? She didn't even stop folding. You made it clear you don't trust me. What's the point in staying? Oh, I made it clear? She turned to me like she was the victim and said, honestly, I feel like you're trying to control me. I need space. I need someone who sees me. That someone being the zookeeper with the ponytail and the Save the Frogs tattoo on his neck, apparently. I asked her, is this about him? Are you leaving to be with him? She zipped up her bag and said, and this is real. I don't know. Maybe. I just know I'm not happy here anymore. That sentence should be carved into a stone monument dedicated to selfish breakups. She left that night. Didn't cry. Didn't hug me. Didn't even look back. I sat in the silence afterward, surrounded by little bits of her she didn't take, a hairbrush, one of her slippers, an old hoodie she never wore but I always did. And I cried. Like, ugly cried. Not because I wanted her back, but because I had finally accepted it, the love I gave wasn't enough for her. And maybe it never was. And here's the kicker, the next day, she blocked me on Instagram. Not because I posted anything. Not because I reached out. Just to be petty, I guess. Or maybe to erase me, like I was the one who tainted her perfect little life. I should have been furious, but instead I just felt done. Like someone hit the last note in a sad song, and now all that was left was the quiet. After Lila left, the house felt hollow. Not just quiet, hollow. Like someone stripped out all the warmth and left me with echoes of a life I thought was real. I didn't sleep much that first week. Kept replaying conversations in my head, wondering if there was something I missed. Was it me? Did I not try hard enough? Was I really that boring? But you know what helped me start to let go? The damn zoo. I went there. Alone. Yep, like some rom-com protagonist trying to face his trauma through exposure therapy. I stood near the sea lion exhibit, just watching them splash around like idiots. And honestly, it made me laugh. Not because it was funny, but because it hit me. This ridiculous place, meant more to Lila than I did by the end. While I was trying to fix our relationship, she was out here feeding giraffes and flirting with Frog Tattoo McZookeeper behind my back. I saw him, too. The zookeeper. He was doing a talk about endangered lemurs or some crap. I recognized him immediately. He had that smug, crunchy granola aura, the kind of guy who says things like, "I don't believe in deodorant," and still somehow gets attention. He didn't see me. And even if he did, I doubt he'd care. But I realized then that it wasn't really about him. It was never about him. It was about Lila needing someone to validate her, someone who wasn't me, because I reminded her of the responsibilities and the routine she no longer wanted. She didn't cheat because of him. She cheated because she was done, and she didn't have the guts to say it. Walking out of the zoo, I felt lighter. Like, absurdly lighter. Almost stupidly so. I realized I had spent months fighting for someone who already had one foot out the door. I just didn't want to see it. So yeah, the zoo gave me closure. Lila didn't. But I didn't need it from her anymore. After my little solo trip to the zoo, which honestly felt like the dumbest therapy session ever, I came home, poured a drink, and opened my laptop. I started drafting the divorce papers. Not because I was angry. Not anymore. I was just done. There wasn't a single part of me that wanted to work things out. You can't rebuild something when the other person already bulldozed the foundation. The next few weeks were weird. Lila and I only spoke through short, cold texts. Me. I'm filing. I'll send the papers this week. Her. K. That's it. No emotion. No fight. Just a dead signal. Like she'd already changed the channel. I'll admit, part of me wanted some big cinematic ending. Maybe an apology. Maybe some breakdown where she realized what she lost. But nope, she ghosted harder than a haunted house. She didn't even show up in person to collect the rest of her stuff. She sent her sister. Can you believe that? Her sister came to get her books, her plants, her ugly cat mugs. And she wouldn't even look me in the eye. Guess betrayal runs in the family. I found out through mutual friends, and social media stalking, sue me, that Lila did end up dating the zookeeper. They even posted a photo together at the zoo's Halloween event. She was dressed as a sexy safari guide. He was in khakis and a name tag. Real original. It didn't even sting. It just felt pathetic. I unfollowed, blocked, deleted everything after that. I didn't want to give her another second of space in my head. That night, I sat in my half-empty apartment and played the playlist I made for our wedding. Big mistake. But also, necessary. I cried. Again. But not because I wanted her back. It was more like mourning a version of myself I had to leave behind. And that's when it clicked. I wasn't grieving her. I was grieving the man who once thought she was it. So, here's the part no one warns you about after a breakup like this: it's not the loneliness that hits hardest. It's the silence. No arguing. No passive-aggressive digs. No wondering who she's texting during dinner. Just silence. And you realize that peace can feel uncomfortable at first when you've been walking on eggshells for so long. But slowly, that silence turned into something better: clarity. I started reclaiming things. I repainted the living room. Got rid of the throw pillows she loved but I always hated. I even tossed out the hideous zebra print rug she insisted tied the room together. It didn't. I hit the gym. Not for revenge. Just to remember what it felt like to care about myself again. I reconnected with friends I had pushed aside during my fix Lila at all costs phase. One of them, my buddy Marcus, invited me on a weekend trip. No couples. Just hiking, grilling, and dumb conversations around a campfire. It was the first time in a year I laughed without that tight knot in my chest. There was even a woman there. Nothing serious, but we talked. She was kind. curious, real. And you know what? She asked me more questions about myself in 10 minutes than Lila had in the last 6 months of our marriage. That hit me like a freight train. It wasn't that I was unlovable. It's that I was trying to be loved by the wrong person. I realized that Lila didn't cheat because of some gaping flaw in me. She cheated because she wanted out, and instead of being honest, she chose cowardice and chaos. And in the end, she did me a favor. Her leaving forced me to choose myself, something I hadn't done in years. So here I am, months later, officially divorced, zebra rug burned in a glorious backyard bonfire, and a lot wiser, maybe a little jaded, but definitely freer. Looking back, I wish I could go back and shake the version of me that thought loyalty meant tolerating disrespect. I thought love was about holding on no matter how bad it got. But real love? It doesn't ask you to shrink yourself. It doesn't lie to your face while sneaking off to screw a guy behind the reptile house. Here's what I learned. Trust your gut. Those small things you excuse, the distant stares, the fake smiles, the "I'm just tired" lines, they usually mean more. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't want to believe it. Cheating says more about them than it does about you. It's not your fault they chose to break the rules instead of face the truth. Closure doesn't come from the cheater. You build it yourself. Brick by brick. Day by day. With good people, better habits, and the decision to not let betrayal define you. If you're reading this and going through something similar, especially if it feels like your heart just got trampled by a herd of emotional elephants, I promise you, it gets better. Not overnight. But little by little. I'm not thankful Lila cheated. But I'm grateful she's gone. Because in losing her, I found myself again, and honestly, I kinda like this guy. Take care of yourself, Reddit. And if your partner suddenly develops a suspicious love for the zoo, maybe ask a few extra questions. Giraffe.